Over 12,000 children have been displaced since clashes have rocked the state since May 3rd this year. According to data released by the state government in a press release, at least 100 students were left severely traumatized. The released data also shows that nearly 50,000 people are displaced due to violence and are now living in relief camps. Manipur Social Welfare Department Director has stated that whenever such incidents are identified, they will be taken to professional counselors. This same has been done for around 100 children and hope that this number would not increase any further. Joining us on the broadcast to discuss more is Major Mohammad Ali Shah, a defense expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us on NewsX. Some rather tragic news that we're covering right now. 12,000 children have been displaced and 100 students have also been left severely traumatized. Is it time for all parties to sit together and ensure the well-being of these children?
We are 100%. I think it's about time. It's over time, in fact, for the parties to sit together and talk about the future of the children, of the youth, of everyone in Manipur for that matter. Now, the Manipur Social Welfare Department said that they had also actively monitored several malnourished children, and there were 16 children they had been treated so far by them, and there were 12,694, if I've got the figure correct. They were children, they were living in relief camp across the violence hit Manipur, and they were, out of them, 100 were severely traumatized. They were needing professional counseling. This was said by a government release. Now that they had quoted the data, which was available by the State Social Welfare Department. Now, I was in conversation with some displaced students as well, in fact, who live in relief camps. And I interviewed them, in fact, on my YouTube channels there. So when I spoke with them, I asked them how was the experience like. Of course, it must be terrifying for them. And they explained the entire thing. I also spoke to some journalists who had gone there to report on ground zero. And those journalists told me that they had met people in relief camps. And those people in relief camps, just imagine the large-heartedness, they were offering them their food. That please eat, though they do not know where the next meal will come from, but yet they were offering the journalists who came to cover the story their bit of food. So imagine now the very fact is over 50,000 families have been displaced. They are all over. They have now people have moved to other places like Delhi, for example. They're looking for jobs, and in fact, and I've been very I've been trying to give my bit in getting people jobs, whatever they can get, whatever as per their qualification. Now, regarding the small children, what is the fault of these children? Just because they are born in a Maite household or a Cookie household? I mean, it's about time. It's actually high time that this violence has to stop. Enough is enough. It's been over 4 months now. And see, when there's fire in your house, what do? We do not wait for the fire brigade to come and only it's their responsibility to douse the fire. We do our little bit, we contribute our little bit, and then we wait for the fire engine, the fire tender, the fire brigade to arrive and then do their job. But here in this case, I'm very sorry to say, over 4 months, and I don't see the fire tender or the fire engine or the fire brigade coming. I mean, they haven't come till so far. I don't know why. I really don't know why has people not dialed the right number for the fire brigade to come in. What is the problem? So we have to do it in a judicial manner. We have to make sure that there is peace. We have to, in fact, I commend your channel. You, in fact, especially initially, you guys were you are very active. I would see every day there were discussions on NewsX on Manipur, and every day they were. So now and whereas all the other national media channels were not covering Manipur. So that's the irony. So I commend people who actually are covering Manipur and they are letting the truth come out before the citizens of the country. Small little children, unki kya galti hai? They don't even know what Cookie and Maite is. They don't even know which tribe or which community they are born in, what the religion is, what their region is. They don't know, but they are suffering today. There are so many children who are malnutrition. There are so many children. I mean, the displaced students who I was in conversation with, they mentioned that how they tore off their degrees, their papers, they have no papers to prove that they have studied so much, they have no qualification, they have no work experience. They don't know what's going to happen to the future. I told them one thing, I told them, Jaan bachi to lakho paaye. You are lucky to have survived, and the world is open to you. I'm sure there will be something in store for you. I'm sure there would be something, and I am when God closes one door, another one opens. As Jalaluddin Rumi once said, his philosophy is never grieve anything that you may lose. It comes back to you in a different form. He also said, what you are seeking is seeking you. So the very fact is, I am certain that people of Manipur, be it Meiteis, be it Kukis, be it Nagas, they all have, they're beautiful people, they're very cultured, principled people, and they have a very bright future ahead. And we are here to support them. The whole nation is going to stand by them in their own little means. So, in fact, people who have the tribe or community they come from, they would be people to support them, to stand by them like a rock. And yes, people who have suffered, it is very, very painful. My heartfelt condolence to the bereaved families. Losing a loved one, a near and dear one, and the kind of gruesome video that has come forward. There was a report recently, just 2 days back, there was a report where it was shown that most of the reporting was done. Especially, I would particularly mention the armed forces, that's the army and the Assam Rifles. They were vindicated unfairly just because they were doing a very neutral stand. They were only helping the victims. That's about it. Now, the armed forces, be it the Assam Rifles, which is led by army officers, very good fighting force, very good force. I've served with them, so I can vouch for them. They are the Director General, Lieutenant Pradeep Nair. We all saw his interview on the ANI. In fact, he gave out such balanced, rational points. Sometime back, it was unheard of, unthinkable that there would be a Femna Miss India in Manipur. Just like it was unthinkable about we landing up on the moon, that on the dark side, that too on the South Pole. It was unthinkable. A solar mission to the sun. In fact, right now. Aditya L1. So these were unthinkable things which Manipur has done. Manipur has done the most unthinkable things. We have had sportsmen who have brought laurels to the country. You talk about Mirabai Chanu, you talk about Mary Kom, you talk about there have been so many people. There have been laureates, there have been Ratan Thayam, theatre personality. People have brought, repute to a country. Those are the people suffering today. And my heart really goes out. My heart generally goes out. I'll quickly conclude by telling you one thing, Riya. The very fact when this whole thing came about, your channel was one of the first ones who was doing it in a very large scale, and I commend them for that. And I used to appear very often talking on Manipur. People used to tell us that if you cover Manipur, you will not get the kind of views that you would get in some other subject. And we all said, we do not care. We do not care about that. We believe in honest journalism. We believe in reporting things the way they are. We didn't care for it. But today the irony is, when we do a story on Manipur, there are a lot of people who would watch it because people are generally now interested. Earlier people did not, unfortunately, where Manipur also was on the map. It's a fact. It might hurt some people, but the truth I'm saying, I've had a personal argument with a person who was telling me Manipur is in Guwahati. It's laughable. It's actually laughable, his knowledge. How can a state be in a city? I don't understand. So the very fact is, when people are getting educated about how beautiful Manipur is, where will you get floating islands in Lake Loktak? Where will you find such people who are so generous in relief camps? Imagine they're giving the food to you. They're offering that to eat. You will not find it anywhere. आप ढूंढने भी जाओ, आपको ऐसे लोग नहीं मिलने वाले जो मणिपुर के लोग हैं. It is such a beautiful state, and I think it's about high time. Yes, it's high time that we actually got to douse the fire, but the society will not change unless and until we change our own selves.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.